Chocolate is one of the most beloved indulgences in the world, found in everything from candy bars to gourmet desserts. It's a treat that brings joy to people of all ages and cultures. But how does something as decadent and refined as chocolate start its journey? The process of making chocolate is a fascinating transformation, beginning with raw cacao beans and ending with the smooth, flavorful treat we know and love. In this video, we'll take you behind the scenes of how chocolate's made, step by step, from the tropical cacao farms to the final product. It's an intricate process requiring precision, skill, and an understanding of flavor. If you enjoy discovering the effort behind everyday items, stay tuned for an engaging look into the world of chocolate making. Be sure to explore our other videos for more captivating stories of how things are created. Now, let's begin the journey of chocolate. Chocolate begins its story in the warm, tropical regions where cacao trees thrive. These trees, known scientifically as Theobroma cacao, grow in narrow band around the equator in countries like Ghana, Ivory Coast, Ecuador, and Indonesia. Their cultivation is both a science and an art, requiring the right balance of heat, humidity, and rainfall to produce high-quality cacao pods. The cacao pods themselves are striking in appearance. They grow directly on the trunk and branches of the tree, each one containing the seeds that will eventually become chocolate. Farmers carefully monitor the trees, waiting for the pods to ripen. When the time is right, they harvest the pods by hand, using sharp tools to avoid damaging the delicate trees. This hands-on approach ensures that only ripe pods are selected, a crucial step in developing the rich flavors associated with fine chocolate. Inside each pod are cacao beans surrounded by a sweet, sticky pulp. These beans are the true treasure of the cacao tree, and their journey from raw ingredient to finished product is just the beginning. The hard work of cultivating and harvesting cacao lays the foundation for every piece of chocolate we enjoy, making the next steps in the process all the more essential. Once the cacao pods are harvested, the beans inside must be removed and prepared for the next stage of chocolate making. Farmers begin by splitting open the thick, colorful pods to reveal the cacao beans, which are coated in a sticky white pulp. These beans are carefully scooped out and gathered in large quantities, ready for the crucial step of fermentation. Fermentation is where the magic of flavor development begins. The beans, along with their surrounding pulp, are placed into shallow wooden boxes or piled into heaps covered with banana leaves. Over the course of several days, natural yeasts and bacteria interact with the sugars in the pulp, causing a series of chemical reactions. The process generates heat, reaching temperatures that help kill off unwanted germs while breaking down the pulp and allowing the beans to develop their characteristic flavors. Farmers must monitor and turn the beans regularly to ensure an even fermentation, as consistency is essential for high-quality chocolate. After fermentation, the beans are still far from ready. They're spread out in thin layers under the sun to dry. This step reduces the moisture content, making the beans easier to store and transport without the risks of spoilage. Depending on the climate and the weather, drying can take several days to a week. The dried beans are raked frequently to ensure uniform drying, and care is taken to protect them from rain or contamination. After the cacao beans have been carefully fermented and dried, they are transported to chocolate manufacturers, where the next transformation begins. The first step in this stage is roasting, a process that's essential for unlocking the deep, complex flavors that define chocolate. Each manufacturer has its own approach to roasting, as the temperature and duration can significantly impact the final taste. The beans are placed in large rotating drums or specialized ovens and exposed to controlled heat. The roasting process serves multiple purposes. It enhances the natural flavors of the beans, reduces bitterness, and helps loosen the outer shells for easier removal. Depending on the desired flavor profile, roasting can last anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes, with temperatures ranging between 250 and 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Some chocolates have a more robust flavor, achieved through longer roasting, while others retain a delicate, fruity note with a lighter roast. Once the roasting is complete, the beans are cooled and sent to the cracking stage. Here, specialized machinery gently cracks open the brittle outer shells, separating them from the inner part of the bean known as the nib. The nibs are the true heart of the cacao bean, packed with cocoa solids and cocoa butter, the essential components of chocolate. The shells, now removed, are often repurposed for agricultural use or other applications. To ensure the nibs are free of any remaining debris, they go through a process called winnowing. During this step, air currents blow away the lightweight shells while leaving the heavier nibs intact. By the end of cracking and winnowing, the cacao nibs are clean and ready for the next phase, where they will be transformed into the smooth, rich base that eventually becomes chocolate. The precision of roasting and the care taken during cracking are key to creating chocolate with a consistent and exceptional flavor. Once the cacao nibs are prepared, they move on to grinding, a step that transforms the solid nibs into a liquid state. The nibs are placed in a heavy-duty grinder that applies pressure, causing the cacao solids and cocoa butter within them to break down. This process produces a thick, fluid substance known as cocoa mass or chocolate liquor, which is not yet sweetened but forms the foundation of all chocolate products. During grinding, the natural cocoa butter melts due to the heat generated by friction, giving the chocolate its smooth consistency. The grinding process also determines the texture of the final product, as the size of the cocoa particles directly affects how chocolate feels on the tongue. High-quality chocolate requires an extremely fine grind, where particles are reduced to just a few microns in size. This level of refinement ensures the chocolate will be luxuriously smooth. Next comes Cotching, a step where flavor and texture are further developed. The chocolate liquor is placed into a conch, a machine that continuously stirs and aerates it for hours or even days. During this process, the chocolate is heated gently, and the friction helps remove any remaining acidity or bitterness. The aeration allows unwanted volatile compounds to escape, while the constant movement ensures the chocolate becomes evenly refined and velvety in texture. Once the chocolate has been ground and conched to perfection, it moves on to tempering, a vital step that determines its final appearance, texture, and structural integrity. Tempering involves heating and cooling the chocolate in a precise sequence to stabilize the cocoa butter crystals. This process ensures the chocolate has a glossy finish, a smooth texture, and a firm snap when broken. The first step in tempering is gently heating the chocolate to melt all the cocoa butter crystals. Once the chocolate reaches its peak temperature, it's cooled to a specific point where stable crystals begin to form. This step must be executed carefully, as the formation of the right type of crystals is essential. Finally, the chocolate is reheated slightly to remove any unstable crystals, leaving a perfectly tempered product. Once tempered, the chocolate is ready for molding. Liquid chocolate is poured into molds designed for specific products, such as bars, truffles, or intricate shapes for decorative purposes. The molds are gently vibrated to remove any air bubbles and ensure the chocolate fills every crevice. This step is critical for creating products with clean edges and uniform textures. After molding, the chocolate is cooled in controlled conditions to set its shape. It's then carefully removed from the molds, revealing a finished product with a flawless surface. Whether destined to be a classic chocolate bar or handcrafted confection, each piece reflects the craftsmanship and attention to detail required throughout the process. The next step involves preparing the chocolate for packaging and delivery, ensuring it reaches consumers in perfect condition. The final step in the chocolate making process is packaging and distribution, where the finished product is prepared to reach consumers around the world. Once the chocolate's been tempered, molded, and cooled, it undergoes a final quality inspection to ensure it meets the highest standards. This inspection checks for consistency in appearance, smoothness of texture, and proper formation, as even small imperfections can affect the product's appeal. After passing inspection, the chocolate is moved to the packaging area, where it's wrapped in materials designed to protect it and maintain its freshness. High-quality chocolate is often wrapped in foil to provide a barrier against air and moisture, with an outer layer of paper or cardboard for branding and presentation. This dual-layer approach not only preserves the chocolate, but also enhances its visual appeal, making it more enticing to consumers. Finally, the chocolate arrives at its destination, whether that's a local shop, a supermarket, or an online customer. Each piece of chocolate reflects the care and effort of its journey, from cacao farms to confectionery shelves. The packaging and distribution process ensures that the chocolate's not only delicious, but also presented in a way that honors the craftsmanship behind its creation. If you found this exploration of chocolate's creation as fascinating as we did, be sure to check out our other videos to uncover the stories behind everyday items. Like, comment, and subscribe. Join us again soon as we take a closer look at how the world's most fascinating products are made. Thanks for watching.